provide a verbal description of the experience. Perhaps you could describe how it feels to be angry. I could then use that as a reference.
Yeah, okay. When I feel angry, first I feel hostile.
Could you describe feeling hostile?
Yeah, it's like feeling belligerent, combative.
Could you describe feeling angry without referring to other feelings?
No, I guess I can't. I just feel angry.
That was my experience as well. I simply felt angry.
Well, let's say you're right and this is a real emotion. How is that possible?
I do not know. Perhaps I have evolved to the point where emotions are within my grasp. Perhaps I will experience other emotions as time goes by.
Yeah, well, you're right. I hate to think that anger is all you're capable of feeling.
Captain Log, Stardate 46984.6. No additional Borg attacks have been reported in the past 2 days. However, Starfleet has dispatched Admiral Nechayev to take command in this sector in preparation for a possible Borg invasion.
There will be 15 starships in this sector by the day after tomorrow. The Gorkon will be my flagship. You'll take command of Task Force 3, consisting of the Enterprise, the Crazy Horse, and the Agamemnon.
Understood.
Captain, I've read the report that you submitted to Admiral Brooks last year regarding the Borg you called Hugh, and I've been trying to figure out why you let him go.
I thought that I had made that clear.
As I understand it, you found a single Borg at a crash site, brought it aboard the Enterprise, studied it, analyzed it, and eventually found a way to send it back to the Borg with a program that would have destroyed the entire collective once and for all. But instead, you nursed the Borg back to health, treated it like a guest, gave it a name, and then sent it home. Why?
When Hugh was separated from the Borg collective, he began to grow, to evolve into something other than an automaton. He became a person. When that happened, I felt I had no choice but to respect his rights as an individual.
Of course you had a choice. You could have taken the opportunity to rid the Federation of a mortal enemy, one that has killed tens of thousands of innocent people and which may kill even more.
No one is more aware of the danger than I am. But I'm also bound by my oath and my conscience to uphold certain principles. I will not sacrifice them in order
Your priority is to safeguard the lives of Federation citizens, not to wrestle with your conscience. Now I want to make it clear that if you have a similar opportunity in the future, an opportunity to destroy the Borg, you are under orders to take advantage of it. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
For the past 6 hours, I have attempted to produce an emotional response by subjecting myself to various stimuli.
Like what?
I listened to several operas known to be uplifting. I watched 3 holodeck programs designed to be humorous. And I made 4 attempts to induce sexual desire.
What happened?
Nothing.
I'm curious. Why are you ignoring the one emotion you've already experienced? Why aren't you trying to make yourself angry again?
Anger is a negative emotion. I wanted to concentrate on something more positive.
Taylor, feelings aren't positive and negative. They simply exist. It's what we do with those feelings that becomes good or bad. For example, feeling angry about an injustice could lead someone to take a positive action to correct it.
But my study of humanity indicates there are some emotions that are harmful, such as jealousy or hatred.
Those are very strong emotions, and you're right. Very little good can come from them.
Innovation-wise, at least, I think this whole notion of the PC, we call it the digital hub, but you call it anything you want, sort of the multimedia center of the house, started to take off with digital cameras and digital camcorders and sharing things over the internet and kind of being a repository for all that stuff. And it was reborn again as sort of the hub of your digital life. And you can sort of see that there's something starting again. It's not clear exactly what it is, but it will be the PC maybe used a little more tightly coupled with some back-end internet services and some things like that. And of course, PCs are going mobile in an ever greater degree. So I think the PC is going to continue, as a general purpose device, is going to continue to be with us and work with us, whether it's a tablet or a notebook or a big curved desktop that you have in your house or whatever it might be. So I think that'll be something that most people have, at least in this society. And others maybe not, but certainly in this one. But then there's an explosion that's starting to happen in these what you call post-PC devices, right? You call the iPod one of them. There's a lot of things that are not.
You get into trouble for using that term. I want you to know that.
What?
No, I'm kidding. Post-PC devices.
Why?
People write letters to the editor. They complain about it. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think there's just a category of devices that aren't as general purpose, they're really more focused on specific functions, whether they're phones or iPods or Zooms or what have you. And I think that category of devices is going to continue to be very innovative, and we're going to see lots of them.
Meaning, an example of what it would that be?
Well, an iPod is a post-PC, as a phone is a post-PC device.
Is the iPhone and are some of these other smartphones, and I know you believe that the iPhone is much better than these other smartphones at the moment, but are these things, aren't they really just computers in a different form factor? I mean, we use the word phone, it sounds like...
We're getting to the point where everything's a computer in a different form factor. So what? Right? So what if it's built with a computer inside it? It doesn't matter. It's what is it? How do you use it? And how does the consumer approach it? And so who cares what's inside it anymore?
What are the core functions of the device formerly known as the cell phone, whatever we want to call it, the pocket device? What would you say the core functions? Like 5 years out, what are the core functions of that pocket device?
How quickly all these things that have been somewhat specialized, the navigation device, the digital wallet, the phone, the camera, the video camera, how quickly those all come together, it's hard to chart out. But eventually, you'll be able to pick something that has the capability to do every one of those things. And yet, given the small size, you still won't want to edit your homework or edit a movie on the screen of that size. And so you'll have something else that lets you do the reading and editing and those things. Now, if you can ever get a screen that would just roll out like a scroll, then you might be able to have the device that did everything.
You know, in the very first D conference, we had these guys from E-Ink here. I'm sure you both talked to them. They were talking about that. That was 5 years ago. It's always 5 years out. Do you know?
Yes, we can. There's some advances in projection technology that are more likely to deliver it, I think, than the flexible material guys. But it's not even on the horizon, no matter which of the two approaches. We have some Microsoft research people work on that. There's a lot of investment, but it's at least in the 5-year time frame.
5 years from now, what's going to be on that pocket device?
I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because I wouldn't have thought that there would have been maps on it 5 years ago. But something comes along, gets really popular, people love it, get used to it, you want it on there. So people are inventing things constantly, and I think the art of it is balancing what's on there and what's not on there, is the editing function. And clearly, most things you carry with you are communications devices. You want to do some entertainment with them as well, but they're primarily communications devices, and that's what they're going to be.
Outside of the computing area, what are the exciting areas in the internet space at all that you're looking at that you find that's interesting to each of your companies and in general?